Welcome and thank you so much for joining me on today's tutorial featuring Fantasia Fondant and Daisy gum paste. We will be making edible lace. Now before we get started, I really do want to disclose that this is my first time using Daisy gum paste and actually the first time making edible lace. And the reason I wanted to disclose this is because I wanted to show you that even though as a first timer, I was able to get all these fantastic laces at my first try. Now the instructions that come along with the Daisy paste are really simple. Heat it up and spread it onto the mold. What I would strongly suggest is that you play around with the timing. For me, 15 seconds seemed to be perfect. It would give me the perfect consistency to be able to spread it without giving me any trouble. Now what you're seeing here is real time. I did not slow it down or speed it up. This is real time because I wanted you to see how fast, or how slow actually, I am actually moving to spread that gum paste onto the mold. Now what you just saw me do is put the heated gum paste onto one edge of the mold. Then with my bench scraper, just spread slowly and evenly the gum paste onto the mold at a 45-degree angle. Now all I did was scrape off the excess and just clean up the edges. What I love about this is that any edges or any pieces that I missed, I could just get a little bit of the gum paste and fill it in by hand. I wouldn't recommend this technique if I was filling in let's say the middle of the lace, but in this instance, since it was on the edge, I just grabbed my bench scraper and I would just scrape it off so that the edge would be clean. And any of the excess, I would just go in and fill in another edge. I do recommend that you take the time to fill in any of the empty spaces, as this will make your lace a lot stronger when you demold it. Of course, if you're an expert already on working with Daisy paste, you will obviously have to skip this process because you would have a perfectly filled in mold. But to be honest with you, on a mold this large, for me, it would be too stressful to try to fill it in one pass and not have the option to be able to fill in any of the empty spaces, because that would mean I would have to start all over again. This way, if it doesn't get filled in the first pass, I could just fill in the gaps and that's it, and I don't have to restart all over. Once I make sure that all the gaps are filled in, I just turn the mold over and start releasing it. Look how beautiful and easy it releases. And just in case you noticed, I didn't use any cornstarch. Now, because I knew there was going to be many variables in regards to how long you should heat up the gum paste, whether you overheated it or underheated it to get the correct consistency, I wanted to see if I could get the same consistency to be able to spread onto the mold without heating it up. So I mixed a little bit of fondant with it, and as you can see, it worked out beautifully. Now, I did speed this process up because it was the exact same process as the first time. Again, if there was any gaps that I missed, I could just go in and refill them. Unfortunately, my battery died and I didn't notice, so this portion the demolding portion got cut off, but I did it again. Here I am filling the mold again with the leftover portion of the fondant and gum paste mixture. Now here is, I left this in because I wanted to show you what will happen if you don't have enough of the mixture to spread out. Now, it will depend on how much of lace you will need for your project, but if you don't need that much, you could easily just cut off the portion that isn't good and save the good portion. One thing to note is that with the gum paste and fondant mixture, it was just a little bit more difficult to get it started. But once you do get it started, it's pretty easy to demold it. But it's more of a peeling process versus just a quick release with just a pure gum paste. Both options worked really well, but I would recommend using more gum paste than fondant if you do try out this mixture. I did it later on with using more gum paste than I did in this demo, and it worked out really well. I wish I would have recorded it. And there you go, Fantasia Fondant and Daisy gum paste. As I said before, this was my first time trying out lace, and if I was able to succeed, I'm pretty sure you will too. The instructions again come along with the Daisy gum paste, and they're fairly easy to follow. But if you don't feel confident enough to heat up the gum paste, then just mix it with just a tiny little bit of fondant, and believe me, it'll work out just exactly the same. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and as always, please don't forget to subscribe.